Good evening and welcome to the evening news. I am Kayode Adebayo. The wealth of experience garnered by the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu over the years will assist him to paddle the canoe of Nigeria to attain greater heights. A legal practitioner, Mr. Wuniyi Alabi, stated this after featuring on Osbc TV current affairs program Saturday Morning Treat. He described the president-elect as an ideal Democrat whose role in instituting and sustaining the current political dispensation cannot be overemphasized. According to him, the just concluded elections were conducted fairly enough to be regarded as free and credible, as he advised the aggrieved contestant to seek redress in the law court without resorting to heating up the polity. He speaks further.
Every discerning mind and everyone who knows God sincerely must believe that our president-elect, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, is the one God has chosen for this period. Because those who are rigging, they did this, they did that, in this same country, in some part of this country, we saw underaged voting. Those people voted for some candidate. In some part of the country, we saw old women being assisted to thumbprint for a particular political party. That's part of the process. So now that we have had the results, we will know, the discerning mind should know the way to go. This is our president in waiting. Do you want to be in opposition? That's what will determine the way the next elections will go.
Former South African president and head of Commonwealth Observer Mission to Nigeria, Dr. Thabo Mbeki, has urged President-elect Bola Tinubu not to forget the African continent when he assumes office. According to a statement from the office of the President-elect, Mbeki spoke when he visited Tinubu in his Abuja residence on completion of the Commonwealth Observer Mission. The statement added that Mbeki noted that the election was fair and credible and asked Tinubu to make the entire African continent his compass when he takes over from the reins of government. The president-elect assured the former South African president of his commitment to further African integration and economic development and promised to work with Mbeki and other leaders of the continent in this direction. A public affairs analyst, Dr. Maruf Hassani, has admonished the incoming president, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, to demonstrate the same virtues displayed as former governor of Lagos to change the fortunes of Nigeria. Dr. Hassani, who spoke on Osbc current affairs program Saturday Morning Treat, urged the president-elect to be careful of sycophants, saying those he knew before may not be the same when it comes to public functions. He stressed the need to prioritize education so as to discourage Nigerian youth from seeking shortcuts rather than hard work to wealth. He speaks further.
Empowerment, economic empowerment of the youth should be number one on the agenda. Some people may think that I will mention security first. If poverty reduces, automatically the level of security will improve. Yes. So poverty breeds insecurity, just like oppression breeds terrorism. So that's number one. Number two, the critical infrastructure sector is very, very important. Transportation infrastructure, establishing or improving functional linkage between rural and urban areas, very, very important. So if we really want this economy to grow, one of the things that should be fundamental to the incoming president is integrated rural development. Many farm produces are wasting away every year because many of these villages cannot be accessed by road. So education sector should be improved on. Many of the graduates today, many of the students we have today, they are reluctant students of tertiary institution, and that is what is killing their morale, dampening their morale, that accounts for producing unemployable graduates, like many people will say. But despite that, our product, when they travel out of the country, So they galvanize another system. They put up very brilliant performance.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has so far uploaded 159,509 results from 176,846 polling units 7 days after the presidential poll. The figure represents 90% of results from all the polling units. Findings at the time of filing this report revealed that the electronic transmission of results was still ongoing, but results of all the polling units were yet to be uploaded on INEC website. Nigerians expected that the election results would be uploaded on election day as promised by the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu. However, INEC came under fire for its failure to upload results to its viewing portal, which led to the walkout of some parties' agents at the National Collation Center. The Transition Monitoring Group has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to use the opportunity of the March 11 governorship election to redeem its image. This is as the TMG described the conduct of the February 25 general election as poor, adding that INEC purportedly failed to deliver a straightforward mandate. This was made known in a post-election observation report signed by the chairman of the group, Awal Rasfanjani, who said the group had deployed 774 observers across all local government areas of the country in line with the provided guidelines by INEC. The report stated that the insistence of INEC to jettisoning the transmission of results electronically from the polling units gave room for suspicions of human interference in the electoral process. The Independent National Electoral Commission has vowed to punish its officials, including adult calculation personnel, who may have been found wanting in the conduct of the February 25 presidential and National Assembly elections. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu disclosed this in Abuja at a meeting with resident electoral commissioners, Rex. He charged the electoral officials to work harder to overcome the challenges experienced in the last election as Nigerians approach the governorship and state assembly elections, saying nothing else will be acceptable to Nigerians than credible poll. The electoral umpire also told the Rex that election day logistics must be finalized days before the election and handled by the electoral officers at local government level. According to him, the Commission has intensified the review of the technology to ensure that glitches experienced, particularly with the upload of results, are rectified, while expressing confidence that ongoing forward, the system will run optimally. The police command in Cross River State has paraded 16 suspects arrested for various alleged electoral offenses in Ogoja local government area of the state. The command spokesperson, SP Irene Ugbo, who addressed a newsman while parading them, said the suspects were caught with arms and ammunition during their arrest in Ogoja. After the just concluded polls, Ugbo stated that their arrest followed the diligent manhunt for those that disrupted those voting centers in the council area during the polls. According to her, the command had issued out several warnings to the people not to allow themselves to be used by desperate politicians during the elections and that anyone caught will have himself to blame. The command spokesperson alleged that the suspects were found to have worked for a candidate during the last Saturday's elections, adding that they will be punished in accordance with the law of the land. Ahead of his 100 days in office, Governor Ademola Adeleke has called on the people of Osun State to vote the People's Democratic Party candidates in the forthcoming state assembly elections. Governor Adeleke made the call while thanking the residents for their support for him in the last governorship election in the state, as well as the recent presidential and National Assembly elections. He called on the people to endorse the PDP again next Saturday to enable him to continue delivery of dividends of democracy. The governor, who reeled out his achievements since assumption of office, maintained that he has been delivering on his electoral promises despite the funding constraints, adding that their trust in him will not be taken for granted. Some of the achievements, according to him, are blocking of leakages in state finance, launching of Osun on tech revolution through new tech innovation policy, ICT policy and domestication of Nigerian Startup Act, introduction of Farmers Intervention Initiative, launching the payment of backlog of half salaries and several staff emolument issues, commencement of payment of arrears of contributory pensions, approving almost ₦1 billion for Osun rural project development, implementation of mass water projects across 332 wards, launching of rehabilitation of schools, health centers, restarting the reconstruction of Oshogbo-Ikirin-Kwara border road, and launching of mass road reconstruction across Osun State, restoration of sanity to traditional institutions, renovation of Abiribola Ige House, as well as activation of work on abandoned Osun House in Abuja, among others. He requested the people to vote for the 26 House of Assembly candidates of the PDP, saying they are the team he will work with in order to continue to serve the state well, as he maintained that the vote for the PDP Assembly candidate is for him. And now to sports. President of the Nigerian Football Federation, Alhaji Ibrahim Guzo, has told the Flying Eagles to focus their minds on winning Monday's semi-final clash with either the Gambia or South Sudan to reach the final of the 17th African Under-20 Cup of Nations ongoing in Egypt. Speaking to the players and officials in their dressing room at the Suez Canal Authority Stadium after the victory over which qualified the Flying Eagles for this year's FIFA Under-20 World Cup Finals, Guzo lauded the spirited efforts of the squad and implored them to do even better against the opponents in the last 4 matches. An own goal by Ugandan defender Ibrahim Juma in a panicky touch following Ibrahim Muhammad's shot that rattled the uprights sent the Flying Eagles to the semi-finals and also earned a FIFA Under-20 World Cup ticket for Nigeria's 13th appearance at the Global Finals. At the African Under-20 Cup of Nations, Nigeria have been winners 7 times, finished as runners-up twice, and been bronze medalists 3 times. The Flying Eagles have been silver medalists on 2 occasions and won the bronze medals once, as well as reaching the quarterfinals when the Nigeria hosted in 1999 in Canada in 2007 and in Colombia in 2011. Now to the foreign stories. United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres has condemned rich countries and energy giants for threatening poor nations with predatory interest rates and crippling fuel prices. At the summit opening, Guterres hit out straight away at the way poor nations are treated by the more powerful nations. And that ends the evening news on OSBC TV. Please join us at 7 for major report. Good evening.